Today, we are going to test 6 different substances to determine if they are soluble in water. I can demonstrate that some substances are soluble in water while others are not. How do we know if a substance is soluble? If you said that it dissolves and there is a change in the physical property, then you are correct. The 6 different substances that we're going to test are drink powder, in this case Kool-Aid, iron filings, pepper, sand, sugar, and salt. We're going to test each one of these to see if they are soluble in water. So before we start, let's look at the physical properties before we add the water. So the drink powder is kind of pink and it's a solid. Iron filings are solid. Pepper, solid. Sand, solid. Sugar, also solid and a little clumpy. And then our salt. So let's start with our first one. Let's start with our drink powder, or the Kool-Aid. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to the Kool-Aid. And let's see what happens. Well, right off, we see that it changed color. It's a lot darker pink. I'm going to try to stir it a little bit. Until it all dissolves. So you can see that the Kool-Aid went from a solid to a liquid. So is the Kool-Aid soluble? I would say yes. Iron filings. What do you think is going to happen with these? So let's see. Right now they're a solid. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Did anything change when I added the water? Let me stir it a little. Are the iron filings dissolving? No, they are not changing at all. So are iron filings soluble in water? Did they dissolve? Our next substance is pepper. Let's see what happens to pepper when we add water. Add the water. Is there a color change? Are the pepper flakes dissolving? The pepper flakes did not dissolve, so are pepper flakes, or is pepper soluble in water? Our next substance is sand. What do we think about sand? Where can we find sand? Let's see. Add the water to our sand. Gonna let it sit there a few seconds. Gonna stir it. Is the sand still there? Is it still separate from the water? Did it mix evenly? No. There was no change in physical properties for the sand. Let's try our sugar. Add a little water. Stir. Uh-oh, there's pepper flakes. Did the sugar dissolve? Was there a physical property change? If so, then sugar is soluble in water. If I keep stirring, then all of it will eventually dissolve. Our last substance is going to be salt. What do we know about salt? Let's see. Add some water. So already we can see that a lot of the salt is dissolved. I'm going to stir. Was there a change in physical properties? Did the salt dissolve? So let's look at each one of our substances again. First we had the drink mix. Changed from a solid to a liquid. Iron filings. Iron filings are still solid. The water is liquid. Pepper. Pepper flakes are still visible, so they're still solid. Sand. You can still see the difference between the sand and the water. There was no change. Sugar. The sugar has completely dissolved now, so there was a physical property change. And then salt. Most of the salt has dissolved, so there was a physical change. I kept stirring. All of the salt would dissolve. So, which of our substances were soluble in water? Salt, sugar, Kool-Aid, and which of our substances were not soluble in water? Iron filings, pepper flakes, and sand.